Okay, so the next thing we want to do is why don't we add a add like maybe like 3 paragraphs in here below this down tree here, and kind of like what we did with the other class. If you watched the video, you probably saw how that was done. We'll do something very similar to that, and then we'll add once we have those paragraphs added in here, maybe locations again, right? And if you click on those locations, we can move that div or that paragraph tag to a different location, another spot, maybe down here on the right. Doesn't matter where it is. Okay, so we can do that. We could do that. We could continue building this if you want, or we could maybe go into the HTML file here and add a button, right? And the input tag, so we can input some data. We'll use that to generate some paragraph tags automatically in this code, and then we can make those also clickable. So here, instead of having the script does it for, we could have that done here all in the script if you want, but that's going to take too much time. So I'm going to go in here, and we're just going to put the input tag in here to read some input from the user. So we'll give it a ID. This will be just the maybe places, okay? And then that's it for that. So basically we want to target the tag to read the data. And then we have a button. And this button here, again with the ID also, we just say add places. If you want to give it a little bit more meaningful, you can say BT and add places, but it's okay for now. And just say add it. Maybe add to the list or something. Something like that. And just so we know that we can see on the screen, I put the HR just to divide the location here. So whatever we add here, it will be added to the list down here, and we'll put that into a inside div tag. Okay, the div tag here will give an ID. Also, we'll just say what do we call now? Since we put places up there already, maybe I put like vacation or something. Vacation spots. How's that? Oh boy. So we'll leave that blank as is. One word, or you can put dash, doesn't matter. Just make sure you have the same spelling, match the case. So we input here, we click the add button, it's going to add it to the list down here, insert a paragraph tag in there, and then we'll also make the paragraph tag clickable. We'll click on the paragraph tag, and it's going to move that to a new place. So we'll put another one down here for the HR, the third HR, second HR, and we'll put another div here. ID is, we'll say visited, okay? So we'll click in here, and then it's going to move or delete that and move it over to the visited location. And we'll do all these in JavaScript. Okay. But all these here could actually be done inside JavaScript. Everything here inside the body, all this can be done within the script. So you could just have a blank skeleton of the DOM tree, and you can write a script to do that. Right? But assume that we have this tree already built. So if you save that and then preview it, it will look something like that. 2 horizontal rules. You could hide those rules if you want. And then once we add the spot, then you can show the rule comes back on, right? Just hide and display and then visible. But for now, let's just say it's understood. And this down tree here, we could leave it as it for now. Looks kind of cool. So I put something here. And then I click add, it should add it to the bottom of the list. All right, so save this. Go to our DOM. Since we're gonna, add this when we click the button only, that means we don't have to wait. We don't have to put it inside the DOM tree here. In the window onload. It's gonna be inside the function only. So the function could be like we call it maybe add to list, right? But we still need to target the button because we didn't attach the event directly here. We could do like on click equals to the function, which is okay, but it's not fun. So we'll do that in the code, right? That's too easy for you guys. So we put it in here somewhere. And because we need to target that button, it needs to be inside the onload. Otherwise, it will not be found, right? Okay? So we just say in here for the button is going to be the document.getElement. So instead of getElement by ID, let's just use the query selector. Okay? So it'll be the query selector, just a single one. And in here, I want to get the selector with the ID of, it's a long one. What do we call it? Don't remember. Add places, right? Add places. You put that in here. As you can see, just like CSS with the pound sign. Also, if you leave it like this, it's assumed that that's going to be it's a tag, right? So you want to make sure you put the pound sign. If it's a class, you put the dot in front. Okay. If it's a part of the paragraph tag, that belongs a class belongs to the paragraph tag, you put that there. If it's an ID of the paragraph tag, you put that, right? And if that paragraph with the ID belongs inside a div, you put that there, so you have the relationship going on. Okay. Or if it's a direct child, you put that there, so you can see all this flexibility inside this tag, this query selector. You cannot do this with the get element ID or class name or tag name. But this is very flexible. Flexibility, it's good, but then if you talk about speed, it's not as fast as the other one though. So, so if you have a huge site that has about 1,000 or maybe 100 or 1,000,000 tags, the query selector is much slower than the get element by ID or class name or tag name. Those are much faster because what this one does is actually it needs to convert back to one of those for main or the native functions, and then so you have a little overhead there. But in terms of flexibility, this is the way to go. So we target that. Now button is good. So when we click the button, we also want to put in here the event. Okay, we'll just do the easy one on click, and we're going to call the add to list. And notice again that I did not put the paren here. Okay, we talked about this in the other class. If you put that there, that means it's going to call the function right away, and you may not want that. Okay, you only want to trigger that function when you click on it. So when you do that, when you attach to an event, usually you take that paren out. Okay, so that's why you see that a lot of like this one here. Again, load. I don't put the paren here. If you put that there, it will load and run right away. And when you run it, then it may not have the actual data already exist. So you want to wait until that event has been triggered. Very common in JavaScript. So now once we click the button, and then here we can now go ahead and read the data, right, from the input, and then add it to the vacation spots. All right, so what do we do here? I click the button, it loads and goes into the add to list. So what's the steps in here? What's the first thing we should do? Get the values from the input. Okay, good. So we usually store it into a variable name, right? So we just say maybe data or place. If you want to call that place, it's fine too. And we'll get that to the document that, again, you can do by ID or the query selector, and this is the one that says, I don't remember the ID, just places. Great. So singular, right? So this is very similar to the get element by ID. So data is just one value. If you put the selector all, even though there's one ID only, then what you get is really an array of a collection of data. So that's the difference between the two. Okay? So we got the data. Well, this is the pointing to the input. So we'll do the same thing like we did up here. We want to create an element, and then get the node, the text node, and attach it to that element, and then we'll add it to the new location, right? So we need to also get the new element. It's going to be a paragraph. So document that create element. Create element, the object, and this is the paragraph tag. And it doesn't matter if it's a lowercase, uppercase, it doesn't matter. In this case, it's not case sensitive. And then we need to create the actual text. Document that create text node. And the text node is going to be coming from the data, but you want to get the value in the data, because the data here really just points to the input. So here you can put the input here and input that value. And the reason why I don't put, you could do this. If you do value here, then here is really just data, right? Either way you do it, it's fine. Only thing is that if you do this way, then you actually get the value only. You're not pointing to that tag. And so I wanted to clear the tag later once we're done reading it, right? So you put the data name, you hit enter, add the button, it should clear the data from the list as well. Okay? So we got that value, and then now we need to add that to the paragraph. I'm going to append the child. And then we want to then also add that to that div, the second div here, or the first div here, with ID of vacation spots. Okay, so the target of that will be var, I can call it just target. And then this is the document that query selector vacation spots. Shouldn't make that too long. Just put VS and be good, right? Okay, so now we just add that child to the target. Okay, and I think we're done at this point. Okay, so if you go save it and refresh, let's see if it works or not. We'll find out. Okay. Put the moon. Okay, somebody want to go there. So we added moon there. And notice again, we want to clear that when we add the data already. So I want to clear it from the list. If I keep adding that, it should be right. And just to make sure that is the DOM tree, let's see if it's correct. I want to attach it to the bottom here. So we have the div, vacation spots, and we have the paragraphs. Okay. So it looks good.